This week, the story of Harriet Chebet Ngok, founder and CEO of Harriet's Botanicals. This is What's Your Story? Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of What's Your Story. My name is Catherine Mwangi. Gratified again that you've made the time to tune in midweek for inspiration, because this is a purely Kenyan story. It's a story as an entrepreneur, you will gain insights. As a person who perhaps is undergoing health challenges, there might be a solution for you tonight. And I love that you're doing this story because, like I like to say to all of you, 70% of you write to us and say, oh, can I be on What's Your Story? I have a great story to share. Then the other 30%, we go looking. We just go looking, scouting for what would be empowering and inspiring to our audiences. And this is one such guest. Her name is Miss Harriet Chebet Ngok. She is the CEO and founder of Harriet's Botanicals. That's not a strange company to anyone in this country. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
And you've brought your product.
Yes, I have.
So this is what we call evidence in law. By the way, you're a lawyer.
Yes, I am.
It's not by the way. You spent years studying law.
Yes, I did.
So a former finance consultant and investment banker turned entrepreneur in the field of medicine, and not just medicine as we know it, but you went back to your roots. Why? Why the roots and not what people call conventional medicine?
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. As you said, my name is Harriet Chebet Ngok. I am the CEO founder of Harriet's Botanicals. And we are a company that retails traditional indigenous medicine for the urban, African, and diaspora market. So I do emphasize that our products are predominantly for Africans. That is a market that we are targeting.
Yes.
And we actually are looking at people who don't have access to the villages anymore, who want like a professional, fully packaged, the very same solution, but presented to them, let's say, in a shop or online.
Yes.
So I have varied reasons why I went traditional. This is not a company that I formed intentionally. What happened is I struggled with endometriosis most of my life since I was 17.
So it's very personal like that?
It's very personal.
Oh, wow.
So when I was in high school, I was one of those people who used to have terrible period pains, but I was undiagnosed for a very long time. And then I studied university, my first and second degree in London.
Yes.
And then I went on to work actually in investment banking.
Yes.
And this endometriosis, still undiagnosed at that time, was a very difficult problem for me because I used to be in pain at least 1 week every single month. So I am not a stranger to allopathic medicine because I had health care. I was fully insured. So I could go to any hospital in the United Kingdom and be treated for free.
Yes.
I spent many days sort of like when I was struggling with overbleeding, you know, with fibroids, which are also like related to endometriosis because of estrogen dominance. And I've been on all the allopathic medication you can think of. They put me on birth control when I was 21 years old because that's one of the first things they do when your menses are difficult and they want to regulate. I've even been on things like Prozac or things like anti-anxiety medication because your moods are really affected by this condition. So I then came back home and I was doing other things, still working in finance, still doing the work that I've always done and the work that I was trained to do. Now in 2017, I was at a funeral, my father's funeral actually, and what happened that morning is I was bleeding so heavily and in so much pain that I actually could not come out. I couldn't shower, right? And I couldn't leave the room. So I delayed the whole thing by like 2 hours. Finally, I came out like on something like 10 painkillers. I was just popping Panadols. When I finally came out and the way I was walking, it's like a relative, like an auntie, said to me afterwards, oh, you know, sasa nimejua shida yako. Kesho nitakuletea dawa. You know, because she told me uko na hii shida ya periods. Unaumwa na tumbo. And I was like, okay.
Just by looking at you,
by looking at the way I was behaving.
Yes.
So now, next day, she came with this other lady who was, between the two of them, they were the first people who gave me the traditional medicine from that part of the world, right? And this was not my first time experience, sort of like looking at traditional medicine because even when I was in England, I had gone to all the different now alternative practitioners. I had tried all types of yoga. I had tried flower essences. I have tried essential oils. I have done massage. I have done Kundalini. I have tried Ayurvedic medicine. I have tried Chinese medicine. I know Chinatown in London like the back of my hand. So I had been to all these different practitioners. So during that time of the month, I'll be at the pharmacy getting painkillers, and then I drop into this other shop to get essential oils to rub on my tummy. I go to another practitioner to get a massage because I was in such a demanding role where you couldn't even talk about your pain.
No.
So for me, I'd function under those conditions for about a week.
Because you couldn't also miss work.
You couldn't miss work. You can't miss work because you're on your period.
My God.
You know, because especially if it's a male-dominated environment, how are you going to tell your colleagues that every month you have painful periods?
Yes.
They really think something is wrong with you because painful menses are not seen as a problem. It's something that just women have to put up with. So in 2017, when I got this particular portion, then I took it back home with me, and they told me just boil it. And I was a bit amused because I tried everything. So this was just another thing that I was trying.
So were they leaves? What were they?
They were bark, mainly bark and roots.
Like tree bark?
Bark.
Hey.
Yes, it's the bark and the roots. The bark is the most potent part. The bark and the roots are the most potent part of the tree, especially if the tree is very old, right? That's where you get the bioactive components.
Hey.
So it was given to me, and for the first time in my entire life, I had a painless period. For the first time, you know, and by that time I was in my 40s.
You boiled?
I boiled them at home and I drank the way they said, chemsha, you know, asubuhi unakunywa hivi na hivi, you know, and if you say, oh, what's in it, ni nini, akunywa dawa.
Yeah.
And you tell them, niko na kitu inaitwa endometriosis or whatever. Even then, I didn't have a full diagnosis.
Yeah.
So they said, just kunywa dawa, hiyo tu ni shida ya tumbo. Women go through that. It's normal.
Yes.
And it really, in sort of like vernacular and colloquial, it's like your tubes are blocked, or your uterus is cramped, or your uterus is cold. It's really just different ways of describing the same thing. In that every woman has the capacity, you know, to have a painless period or to have a proper reproductive system. In my culture.
Yes.
So within the Kipsigis culture, Sigig means, or Sigis, to give birth. So they believe it's their mandate to sort of like give birth, populate the world. So they hold these ancient remedies for fertility.
My God.
And this is what I discovered. Because, you know, before that I had not, it wasn't like I was always going to a country. We just went now to
for
bury
Daddy's
him.
funeral.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So when I had my first painless period, I was so shocked. So I went back a month later. I told them, go bring me those things you bought me. Now, it took a lot, you know.
So you had no pain at all?
Nothing. Like you sleep.
Were you like moving like a zombie in your house wondering, is it the pain gonna come back?
No, it's like you don't know you're on your period. That's what I mean by a painless period.
Yeah.
It comes and you go to the bathroom and you, wageni wamekuja.
Yeah, because it's always preceded by mega pain,
so much
discomfort,
stress, so
and
much stress.
The
insomnia, the pain, the cramping. Because I used to also do the vomiting, the fainting. There's people who do the vomiting and the fainting. And there are people who have to be taken to hospital the first day of their period, wanaenda kudungwa shindano. You know, a lot of women, young girls who have endometriosis, they're carried out of the house, they're given the pain injection, and then they come home and they're normal. And that injection lasts like 4 days.
Aye.
So then
you went back and got stock.
I got enough now. And then my friend was about to go for a hysterectomy. And so I'm in this WhatsApp group with my classmates.
Okay.
And we were all talking about the different things we were experiencing in our 40s.
Okay.
And one of them said to me, well, I'm on my way to a hysterectomy because I've been bleeding for 3 weeks and it's coming out like mud, like mud, like porridge. It's too dark, the color. And my 2 sisters ahead of me had hysterectomies. I'm so done with this. And the doctor has said, in 2 weeks, we're going to go and take out my womb. I said, no problem, go for it. But in the meantime, try this. Try this and maybe you'll feel better. And that's it. She never had a hysterectomy. She just kept coming back for more. So she was like unofficially my first customer. And then she talked about it in the group, in the WhatsApp group, you know, Chebet has this thing.
There's this thing with boil and drink.
They called me the Mitishambares. Mitishambares, we have a Mitishambares here. And she has this concoction, you know, from Ushago, that you just take it and your periods are painless. And I'm telling you, now that month, I made 100,000. From that.
Just from the WhatsApp group.
The WhatsApp group alone. The WhatsApp group, because I was still doing my consulting and whatever.
Yes.
So then it became my sister, my cousin, my mom, you know, my other so-and-so, and then they said to me, okay, sasa, Harriet, since tengeneza wa mama, tengeneza wa baba. Because it could be my husband has a problem, and you're focused on me. And that's how I came up with a men's product. I went back, I told them, what are the men taking?
You went to auntie.
Yeah, I went gathered all the women, come. Tell me what are the men taking. So
taking for...
So you see what happens is that we assume that reproductive health problems are for women only. No, they're also for men. So men are struggling with prostate issues, the prostate. So they have something called benign prostate hyperplasia, where the prostate is just sort of getting enlarged and inflamed. And so urination is painful, they get back pain, they get pelvic pain. Sometimes when there's an infection, they even wee blood. And the process itself is non-cancerous. It can become cancerous. It's benign at that point, affecting all men over 50 at some point, but they don't know about it. So you see, there's the whole also urinary tract infections. It comes with reduced libido. It comes with a poor sperm count. There are men who have 0 sperm count. They're infertile, right? So when you look at the whole thing, the environment is also affecting men.
Yes.
In that whether it's a nutrition or an accident or diabetes medication or even stress or, you know, like alcoholism and drugs overuse or just eating badly, you know, excess carbohydrates in our diet. Men are also struggling with fertility and with libido. Erectile dysfunction is actually a lifestyle disease now. And it is big, especially amongst the younger generation of men in their 20s.
You're kidding me.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable, you know. Then there's another group who have something called polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that is just such an incredible illness because it's actually related to insulin. The fact that because of excess insulin in the ovaries, now all your hormones become androgens. You actually, as a woman, manifest the male hormones. So you get a beard, you get chest hair,
God forbid.
You get male pattern baldness. Now your hairline is receding, you're losing your hair. Some people shave off all their hair because it's just dropping off. Your voice gets deeper, right? You put on weight, and that like stodgy weight, you know.
Then you look like a dude.
Yeah, you're like, you know, because you know you can put on weight as a mama and still have your softness. Now you have that hardness. And then at the same time, now you're also infertile. And you could be 32, 28, 27.
And so you walk around thinking, this is now, I'm just growing.
You don't know what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Then your periods disappear 1 year.
So now here you are, you've made 100K from your WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And everyone is saying, Miti Shambanes, please, you're sorting our life. However you choose to do it, you don't care. You go back to the village and you call the mamas.
Yeah.
And so you still had a job in London.
I said, now I had a job here.
Okay,
so
you had already moved back.
I had already moved back.
Okay.
Even though my work was, at the time, I raised capital in the diaspora.
Okay.
So I was doing capital raising.
Okay.
Most of the financing is coming from Europe. So I was working with a EU company, actually. So I sourced projects in Africa, and I raised capital abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were here. So you decided, at what point did you decide, okay, I've had a good run as a banker, there's something here, I feel I can transform community, society, and nations through this. At what point was that
So
shift?
the transition happened in a very funny way. What happened is now, as I'm doing my normal work, and like the demands for the dawa are just unbelievable. Because what then happened is, after giving it to my friends, and then now I kind of like I'm selling it as a hobby on the side. So I used to use the money I get to fuel my car and to go for my meetings. So I always had a bit of cash, whether it's 1,000 bob or 2,000 bob. So for me, my side hustle is supporting my main hustle, right?
Wow.
And I'm going for meetings with CEDA or with DFID or whoever, you know, USAID.
Yeah.
But what's happening is my phone is blowing up like crazy during those meetings, you know? It's just people want dawa, they want dawa. And you know, because I think I did a video.
Yes.
Now there's one video I did because I was so fed up of questions. People asked me like 20 questions. I'm like, okay. I did a video explaining how the dawa works, where I got it from, what it can do for you, and how you use it. So I put that video first on my normal Facebook page, right? Then I created now a Harriet Botanicals page and I put it on. You know, up to today, that video got 3.4 million views. One video. One. Running for 1 year. It was unbelievable. So the video is running. My phone is blowing up, isn't it?
And you're in meetings.
I'm in meetings.
Heish.
You know, I am, here talking finance. Doing
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'm in meetings. Then I'm like, what I need is an assistant. You know, this time it's, so I get a friend, I tell her, you just handle social media. I was getting really insulted with social media. Huyu madam ametengeneza video, she doesn't respond. Hata nimempigia sasa hivi. Then they all join in.
Achukui simu.
Achukui simu, achukwangi simu. Hata nilipigia usiku, achukwangi. So the comments was just handling the comments on this one video was driving me crazy. So I got one person, you handle those comments, and then in the evening, tell me how many dawahs they need, and then I will just take them to G4S.
Wow.
And I was producing at home. It's like
in
one
your
day,
kitchen.
Let me tell you, the first time it was produced 10 bottles a day, just on the oven. Like within a month, produce 10 times 10. So light up 10 jikos. Produce 10 bottles from each. Now you have 100 a day. And we're still not meeting the demand. Take it to G4S, you know? Like in the morning, I even used to leave them at G4S. Customers are calling.
Yeah.
G4S is dispatching.
Wow.
Yeah. Then a friend of mine, another lady now who was at that time walking around with me we were just talking, this business. She told me about Notify. Go put, get a shelf for 4,000 at Notify.
Okay.
In CBD.
Okay.
And then your CBD clients who are complaining G4S is too expensive will go there. So we went into Notify. A few months, now the owner of the shop was upset because everything was Harriet Botanicals. So the people she had working in there, they were only selling my products. It's like I completely took over the shop. So she said, this is not going to work because I have other people who have a shelf.
Yeah.
You have rented a shelf, but you have rented a shelf, but it's like it's just you.
Taken over.
The riders is just you. Everything is you. So she technically threw me out. And then I went across the road.
Your rent was not good enough. Your rent was
I was just paying 4,000 shillings.
Yeah, it was a bother to her.
It was such a bother to her because I had completely taken over her staff. Like 4 of them and her 2 riders. So then I was just standing there thinking, oh, there's a new building here. And I walked in and I said, I need a shop. Wow. And that was my first shop.
In the CBD? In
the CBD, Sour Mall, the one everybody knows.
Yes.
But I just remember one time I was in this CEDA meeting and they had come. And we were in a hotel, in a hotel, and we were like sitting there, and they kept asking me questions. I don't know what. In the evening, because I remember one client said to me, "I send you clients, and you never even bother calling them back. What kind of business woman are you?" I was reading that. I was in the meeting. In the evening, I just left. I gave my apologies. I said, "I will not be coming back." That was it.
Last
that was
day.
It.
Yeah.
And I have not had the time to do finance work since then.
Since 2017.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And now, so I said the business is 5 years old because officially 2018. So we are almost 6 years now.
Yes.
And it's just been growing because people now say, I live on Gong Road. I don't come into CBD.
Yeah.
So we opened a shop in Gong Road. Then people are like, I'm in Eldoret.
Yeah.
We opened in Eldoret.
Yeah.
Nakuru.
I'm in Westland. Sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in Isili. Like that.
Yeah. So does it bother you? So yes, of course, it's business, but also from a humane perspective, that the people are struggling and suffering from undiagnosed or misdiagnosed issues, and then you come with this magic potion. It's not potion, okay? It's I've taken it. I'll tell you which one. Mm-hmm. And you come with this, and there's such high demand. Did you ever like sit with yourself and say, wow, like how many are struggling in this country? Like what is this problem that, and yes, you've detailed the problem, but when you sit with yourself at that time, especially when you're starting and everyone is saying, what kind of a business person are you? We need this. And you know, they're not insulting you to insult you, but it's because they're desperate. Yeah. They're desperate. They have had this works. They just want it. Mm-hmm. And so did you feel like, gosh, what more can I do for these people?
Well, what for me, it really demystified the whole concept of fertility and motherhood and family. Because you meet women who are about to be divorced because they don't have children or they can't get the amount of children that they think they should have. So you meet so many people who are depressed.
Yeah.
You meet men who don't talk about this at all.
Yeah, men don't.
Right? So for me, it was really like, oh, so there's a problem that kind of like is hidden.
Yeah.
You know, there's this hidden problem,
Yeah.
and we don't seem to know how to fix it, and we don't talk about it. So it wasn't even actually that I decided to develop other products. It's now, you know how it is with women. Women look after the whole family. After she has taken, let's say, arorwet, and you've treated her, next she's like, bwana yangu. After that, she's like, my child has a cold. What can you do?
Yeah.
My mom has this. What can you do? So it's like, you know, the clients really drive this business. If they say we open in Nakuru,
Yeah.
we will open in Nakuru.
Yeah.
If they say we need this, you will do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't actually looking to develop other products.
No.
I'm under pressure to develop more products, even now.
Even now.
Or even now, people say to me, well, what about, you know, autoimmune? What about autoimmune?
Yes.
Even this Sagawaita, it was because of COVID, because they kept writing on my page, Sasa, even COVID you can't treat. Oh, really, eh? Kwani? So when you find your research, they tell you on the page, go do research.
Yeah.
So, you know, I thought, I went home again and I asked them, is there something for a bad homa? And they told me there's a medicine for what they call like pneumonia of the lungs.
Okay.
And they were just showing me this tree, this tree, this tree, this tree. I said, no problem. I'm on the fire. I'm tasting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was really good for bringing down your temperature. That's what I noticed immediately. So I said, okay, I'll go and try it out.
Yes.
I'll go and tell people if you have a bad cold, if you have pneumonia,
Yes.
this is what they're taking.
Yes.
Without making any claims. I'm not claiming that I can cure this or that.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're at your wit's end and you can't get anything for a chesty cough and your child is always having a runny nose, try this, keep it in the house.
Yes.
That's how it came to be, from insults on social media.
And then once they try, now they want, now it becomes, where is this
now
product?
they're like, you've done this. Okay, my brother has ulcers. Daktari, sitengeneze ulcer. Kwani? Daktari, you should just focus and do your research. It's start calling you doctor. How come?
Yeah.
You mean, up until now, you haven't developed one for ulcers. And what am I supposed to do about my hyperacidity? That's how people... Now...
Hey, all the problems.
Yes, so now again I went and I said, because now I have another uncle, and actually like this is his, not really an uncle, but like a cousin uncle.
Okay.
And he kept telling me there's something for ulcers, and I never used to believe him. If I used to bring it in a powder and say this is for ulcers.
So you mix it in like water or something?
Yes, you put it in water.
Okay.
And I'd say, I didn't believe him for like 2 years. And one day I called Shags, I said, call that old man, tell him to come. I'm on the way. We're going to do a product for ulcers, hyperacidity, gas, you know, like diarrhea, bloating. We are going to do it. I had to really tell myself, stop being afraid.
Of just going out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we take a short break, we come back, we get to learn what are the products under Harriet's Botanicals, and of course, what else is she working on? And also, for those of you, because I know you're there, who may be cynical. So there are those who say, oh no, us we're the ones who just go to, You have heard those demands that people have. I have personally tried one of these products and I'll tell you which one. But that's right after the break. Don't go too far. So how much do you take per night?
You just take it in the morning, 45 mLs, because it cleans your system. You take it on an empty stomach because you want it to hit the bloodstream.
Yes, even this one you take on an empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
First, you take it in a fasted state. That's like the technical scientific term. So it just goes and cleans all your tubes. It also has a digestive function.
This one?
Both of them.
Okay, yes,
because
even this,
reproduction and digestive are connected.
Okay. Welcome back. It's What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi. We're here at Holiday Inn Two Rivers, having what I consider this week's most inspiring conversation, by the way. I don't know what else you've been watching on television, but anything that will save a life or at least give you comfort, or at least give you solutions. By the time you want to go separate ways with your partner because of one or two, three things, and then Harriet's Botanicals shows up, here we are. So, Miss Harriet Chebet Ngok.
Thank you.
We come to the products now. I see you have how many?
9.
And
I have 12 products in total.
Which are the missing ones?
So they are here.
Okay.
One of the porridges is not here.
Okay.
Another Super Vitality
Okay.
is not here.
Okay, we'll come to the powder. So let me tell
Okay.
you how I got to know about Harriet. So last year I was traveling, and as usual, I called members of my family to ask them, what do you want me to bring for you? And my sister said, oh, nothing. In fact, you come. There's something you must have. I said, okay, what? Just you come, you come. So she has struggled with menses for a very long time, exactly like your problem. So the fibroids, etc. And she said to me, and we've gone to every doctor you can imagine. So her friend told her about Harriet. So when she's saying to me, I cannot wait for you to come and try it. So I found it at home waiting for me, and I tried it. And I said, oh my God. So I went to your Instagram first, and then I saw your store in Nairobi, CBD.
Yeah.
And I went there because my sister just kept telling me, well, just kunywa that thing, make sure you finish in 2 weeks. I'm like, why do I have to finish in 2? I was told you finish in 2 weeks. I said, let me just go find this knowledge for myself. Yeah. And your lady at the store that time was very helpful. And I've been taking it. And then on LinkedIn this year now, about a month and a half ago, we connected, and then I'm like, it's about time we have Harriet's story on the show, if she'll agree.
Wonderful.
You know, so I said to Millicent, look for her. If she says yes, I would be glad, because I am a personal testimony to the workings of this Harriet.
So good to
So
hear.
we'll have to start with Harriet.
Okay.
So this is the one I'm assuming your auntie originally recommended, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So tell me about it.
So
Tell us
this
about
one,
it.
so she brought me, like, let's say, I would say 5 of these. So this has 8 trees.
8.
Yes. Wow. It has 8 trees.
Okay.
That includes roots and barks and stem, right? So then I did some more research, and I added 3 so that it can become my own formula. So it's anti-inflammatory, it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, it has a natural painkiller.
Yes.
Now the natural painkiller here is called Carissa edulis. We call it legetetiet. And you know, it's so famous, it's the Loliondo tree.
Okay. The one from Tanzania, that man?
Yes, remember when people were going there because of HIV? Now, because that plant is actually used in HIV medication for infections.
Yes.
It's anti-infection.
The virus.
So it has a number of trees. So there's those that, because when you get a urinary tract infection, let's say you're maybe on high sugar, or your diet is predominantly carbs, so your pH is off, you keep getting urinary tract infections. What then happens is that it travels and becomes a PID, a pelvic inflammatory disease. From there, it travels and blocks your tubes. You know, so now you don't even know that it's happening. It's starting, let's say, with what we call candida. And you know, women pop pills all the time for candida.
Yes.
So once it has blocked your tubes, then it goes on to infect your whole system. And PID is sort of like, it just has like these adhesions. You now have what we call adhesions. So there has to be the element of the antiseptic and the antimicrobial, and bring you back to balance, bring your pH back to balance. And then it'll flush out your tubes, you know, clean out the infections. And then it has something that is for growths, that actually shrinks growths. You know, just starts to sort of work on them and shrink them. Then it has something for hormonal balance. Because literally all women who struggle with any of those issues either have too much estrogen or too little progesterone, or not enough estrogen, as we talked about PCOS, where all the hormones are converting into androgens.
Right.
So these are all a range of hormonal issues, where your hormones are supposed to be balanced. Now they're like this at various times of the month. So how it works for fertility is that at that specific time when you need estrogen, it brings it up. When you don't need estrogen, it's supposed to evacuate it.
Wow.
Estrogen is supposed to now be evacuated, first of all, through the liver and out of your gut. So you find a lot of women who have fibroids and endo, their gut is congested, they have constipation. The estrogens are circulating back, and then they cause all these growths, including endo is really like you're bleeding into other parts of your body. So I have another group of women who really now grew me. I call them the Kilimani group. It's like the middle upper class Kenyan women above a certain age. They discovered the libido effect. My God, they were buying in groups.
This Harriet.
This Harriet. Yeah. So it's an adult product. That's why we say we don't give it to teenagers. Right? Only if they're really struggling, we give them one bottle just to help them with the pain. Flush out the tubes, flush out the womb, clean the ovary. Your mood, you're vibrant at work, you're so active.
Like a sunflower.
Absolutely, that's it. So you do your work so well, you have mental clarity. No one pushes you. You're a performer. You feel good, you feel beautiful. So the way you walk through the world is a whole nother story. Exactly.
Harriet.
Exactly. So there's a whole set of people who told each other, that thing, naleta kajoto. You see? So it's the fastest moving product because of that. Yeah. And then with the men, the same thing.
Which one is for the men?
Now the men, the 10 weights. Now imagine.
Now cameramen are not even focusing on their lenses. Actually, now you've all stood up.
So you see this one now is, first of all, it increases staying power.
So how much do you take per night?
You just take it in the morning, 45 mls. Because it cleans your system. You take it on an empty stomach because you want it to hit the bloodstream.
Yes, even this one you take on an empty.
Yes. First, you take it in a fasted state. That's like the technical scientific term. So it just goes and cleans all your tubes. It also has a digestive function.
This one?
Both of them.
Okay,
because
even this,
reproduction and digestive are connected.
Okay.
And you find anytime you're bloated or you're feeling heavy, it affects your reproductive system. Even for women, it presses on the womb. So like when you're on your menses and your tummy is clean, there's less pressure, so there's less pain. And then because it goes and it takes out sort of all the water that should not be in, gas, so you find that maybe before you take it, you're even like swollen over here. All that, that's why people say, I lost weight. I say, no, you shrank. Like it took out all the dirt.
Retention of the water.
So you're not swollen anymore.
Yeah.
Now this product, because again on the page they were like, hauna ya blood pressure? Kwani hauna time? Hauna time.
Hauna time ya research.
Exactly. When you're told like that, So now the same person who showed me this, he kept telling me, kuna dawa zingine za pressure na sukari. And I ignored him again. I was just like, oh God. You're going to make me go and talk on television and people will shout at me. So then eventually I said, I'll just do it. Come on.
Why not? Yeah.
So I developed this one because I went again and we were with him.
Yeah.
We got all of them together because he doesn't know the English name. So I took them and then I did research. I found the English names. And one of them in here is black cohosh.
Black cohosh, but that's also very good for PMS and things.
Yes. Not only that, for menopause, for hot flushes. So there's black cohosh. There's another one called emetiot, which is the African olive tree. So then you have lion's ear. Lion's ear is well known because now lion's ear, there's another version called wild dagger, or a different form of, it's called lion's tail, and it's actually smoked by the Khoisan in South Africa. For medicinal use. So if you Google, once you find the English name, Google, it's being used in medicines across the world. So it's just how we use it. So I discovered this is actually now for insulin resistance, which is insulin resistance in the blood, diabetes type 2 and now type 3, right? Then you have insulin resistance, what's happening to cause blood pressure, dyslipidemia and cholesterol and all the things that are building up in your arteries and like narrowing your vessels. And that's why your pressure is going up. It's all related to insulin.
Oh, wow.
And then you have PCOS, insulin in the ovaries. And then you have in the joints. And that's what's giving you your arthritis, your joint pain. And now insulin is really related also to what we call vasomotor symptoms. Hot flushes, night sweats, insomnia, sleep dysregulation, heat dysregulation. Are also related to the fact that we are on such a high insulin diet that the body now, when the hormones are dropping at perimenopause and menopause, the body can no longer regulate the others. So you need to bring your insulin down for you not to have your hot flushes and
insomnia.
Exactly.
So this is the one?
This is the one. I call this my retirement baby. this has been a very interesting journey for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And the powders.
Now,
So
the powders
let's talk,
are because somebody, well, there's this one that is just for the gut, the hyperacidity.
Like detoxing.
Completely. This is for gut health. This
Millicent,
one I just
you wanted
carry.
a detox. There you go.
So this one I carry with me whenever I travel because I'm bound to eat something I'm not supposed to eat.
I know, right?
And I just clear
From
it up with
airplane
this.
food.
Everything. Hotel food.
Hotel food.
Or you just visit
street
someone.
food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is what I use.
So you mix in water?
Yes, just half a teaspoon in water. Now, busareg, you know, in the Kalenjin pantheon of medicine, it's well known. This is now when they take 20 trees and they reduce it to a powder. And the reason we don't do it for all this is that if we did, we would have no forest because you have to use a lot to get so little. So that's why we're still trying to maintain the decoction in liquid form so that we can use as little bark as possible.
Right.
Especially for the trees, which take 50 to 100 years. And the older the tree, the better for you.
Ah.
Right?
So that's the detox,
Now,
busarek.
these are the powders. It's because people came and said, you don't have CMOS? what kind of person are you now?
This is CMOS.
This has CMOS and maca and ashwagandha. Like women with PCOS, now this is to spur fertility.
But it's ashwagandha and maca. Maca, I stay away from. Hey, maca is. Yeah.
It's motomoto, yeah.
Yee.
Now you see, maca is in the South American traditional medicine pantheon. And then ashwagandha is in Ayurveda.
Indian, yes.
So all this, and then CMOS is like kind of like the latest buzzword.
Yeah.
Everybody's on CMOS
Yeah.
because it has like 100 minerals and vitamins.
Yeah.
So CMOS is just another way for women who have multiple miscarriages, women who are struggling to conceive, who are maybe undernourished, poor nutritional profile. Now you start taking your supplements. This is how you supplement the food you don't have.
Yes, and that's the one.
Super
And if
fertility.
you want to get a child, that's the one.
Yes, yes.
Where?
Now, of super immunity, very similar to sagawaita. It has your ginger. This is a powder form.
Of this.
Yes.
Ah.
Then now, why I introduced these rongorig? Because people kept saying we want more traditional things.
Okay.
So rongorig in Kisi and in Kalenjin means porridge.
Oh, okay.
Now, why I introduce this is people will still come and say to you, okay, sasa, umesema lazima ni modify diet. Ati nisikule nini na nini? Ati nisiende kwa market nisikule ile fruit juice wamemix. Sasa umesema tena nisikule mkate, nisikule chapati, nisikule mandazi. What am I supposed to eat? Ebu niandikie nutrition plan. And people come into the shop and sit with you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Tell me on Monday what I'll do. On Friday nikule nini. So I introduced rongorik composite flours, yeah. One for estrogen dominance, one for insulin resistance. And these are suitable for both men and women.
Yeah.
Because another person accused me of catering only to women.
Women. So how do you consume them?
This you make into a porridge, you can make into muffins, you can make into pancakes, you can make into anything.
Oh.
I make veggie balls with it. Like when I'm traveling, I'll make many muffins and then that's going to be my breakfast.
Yes.
Because it's nutritious, it has pumpkin flour, it has also something called taro to it, which is like very unique traditional medicine. That has chebindarwet. So now I'm introducing all the other like roots into the food.
Oh, wow.
But also now with your almonds, your peanuts, your oats, your pumpkin seeds, your sesame seeds,
It's
your
like
flax
all the
seed.
super rich foods.
Yes, these are superfoods.
Yes.
So because if you look at all the other people who are doing health,
Yeah.
literally they provide, food is really the basic of health, the basis of health. So, you know, if you do medicine, you also need your food and your supplements. So this was just our way of growing.
So the silent war between big pharma and indigenous medicine.
Yeah.
How do you
Navigate.
Yes.
Well, there was a silent war until people started taking this to their doctors and telling them, whatever you give me, I'm also using this. In fact, I'm using this. I brought it to show it to you. So now what the doctors decided to do is work with me. So they put me in there. I'm in a doctor's WhatsApp group because in that group, again, the demand for arrowroot, just arrowroot, is very high. So now they've put me in the doctor's group and they're talking about doing clinical trials, sourcing funding. There's another doctor who approached me from University of Cape Town and she wants us to like run trials in Namibia, South Africa, Malawi, and Zimbabwe. And there's another doctor who approached me from Malawi. So for arrowroot, it's like kind of big pharma kind of want it.
Yes.
Because they're like, okay, well, you've made our lives easier. Not that we asked for any help, right?
Yeah.
But now let's collaborate.
Yes.
So doctors themselves are telling me, we want you to do 1, 2, 3, differentiate the product. We need more information. We need blind studies. Another doctor from Uganda called and said, my clients are all talking about your products. They are in this WhatsApp group. They're all using it. Please, what blind study have you done? And if you haven't done any, I'll do one for you.
Wow.
And I said, okay, no problem.
Yeah, you do the blind study.
I'm like, you do the blind study. You source the
you
funding.
blind study.
You talk to all these. So that's how we've done very well with Harriet itself.
Gotcha. So entrepreneurs watching you, and maybe they started and got stuck somewhere along the way for whatever reason. Could be capital, it could be maybe no support, it could be whatever. Could think about, because you're one and you know the challenges you went through. You were kicked out from your first store, your home.
Exactly.
You know, you had to start in your kitchen. You took over your entire house. This company did. So entrepreneurs who are stuck somewhere in the middle, they know they have a good thing going, but they, for whatever reason, they can't just move. What would you tell them?
So for entrepreneurs, I think we have to understand that there's a time lag where nobody sees you. You know, it's like, I always talk about the fact that you're like a seed. You've been planted. And what's going on underground, nobody can see. Wow. Only you can feel your struggle. You know, you haven't come out to be seen by the sun and other people to be admired like a flower. Or if you look at the bamboo actually, the bamboo tree stays underground for many, many years before you see the other side when it comes out. So, you know, you can plant a bamboo and you're looking at it for 10 years. And then one day it just shoots. So that's the same with entrepreneurship. There's the things people don't see. There's the work you're putting in that nobody else cares, only you know. And there's going to be a time people will laugh at you. They're going to ignore you. They're going to ridicule you for at least 10 years. Whoa. So you have to think of this is a long game. I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint. So it's just that when you finally make it and you're getting all this attention, everyone's like, oh, look at that person. You know, they succeeded. Because I used to say to people, yes, I'm an instant success after 20 years of trying. Ooh. You know, so that instant bit, that last 1-2 years is when it looks so nice, it looks so glamorous. But majority of the time, the 80%, you know, it's really grunge work. Putting together information, putting together products, running a team. It's a lot of dreary things that nobody's seeing. Then they just see the little bit where you're smiling and you're happy and you're moving around looking like everything is good. So entrepreneurship, you know, especially if you want a business that outlasts you, you want a legacy, you want your children to take over that business, you know, you want something that you created, let's say in 2010, it's still there in 2070, you have to really think long term. And then you'll never really find, it's not money that you need. It's not even support. You don't even need your friends to buy your product. You just need a good idea that is actually needed in the market. You just, and remember that it's your friends who will not buy from you. Your friends will buy from you and your family after they think you are successful. And you will get money when that thing provides a solution to someone else. They will not blink. They will pay you for that service or they will pay you for that product. And there'll come a time when you're doing well, when the big money folk will start to notice you. And maybe at that point you won't need them. So I always say it's not really money. You just think you don't have money. You're feeling discouraged because you're not getting the accolades or the applause. But that applause will come way later, so stick to your dreams.
That's so good. That's so good. Like you've made the dark season feel so good.
It is an amazing time of, it's like you're like a caterpillar.
Yeah.
You know the way you are in the cocoon?
Yeah,
and you're just in there. It's like you're meditating. You are meditating on your work. Your life. This is your life's work. It's not something you're going to do January, December. Oh, I'm rich. I'm successful. I'm this person. Moving away from the show and tell. When I say it's not like a dog and pony show, right? It's your life's work.
Yes.
So just take your time, manage, bring your expenses down,
yes.
Lower your expectation. Just think about it as the one thing. If one person wants what you have to offer, you have already succeeded.
Wow. Hey, Chebet. How can people reach you?
Oh, they can reach me.
Yes.
So my number is out
or
there.
Or if they want, how many stores do you have in Kenya so far?
16.
16?
Yes, 16.
16 stores in Kenya. I would be surprised if you don't know where they are. But then again, let me not assume, because this show attracts quite a large demographic. So the easiest way first is to find you somewhere?
Yes, find me online.
Okay.
Because I am on harrietbotanicals.co.ke.
Okay.
I am on Facebook, very active on Facebook, very active on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. If you Google, just Google natural medicine or herbal medicine or natural, you'll find us.
Yeah.
We'll probably pop up quite quickly.
Yeah.
You can call our customer service number, which I don't know at heart, but you can also use my number. I have a number that is dedicated to the public, 0701 421 409. So there's so many ways you can reach us. We're in Healthy You.
Yes.
About 20 stores, including Nyanyuki, including Rongai, Mayan in Rongai. We're in Eldoret. We're in Capital Center. We're in Imara Daima.
Okay.
So we're in all the Healthy You shops, especially where we don't have a shop.
Yeah.
We're definitely in their stores. So you can also call them and ask.
I read so many testimonials on Instagram and Facebook of just men and women sharing what this has done for them. Again, I am just so happy we did this story. It's a good Kenyan story.
Thank you.
No, it's a really good Kenyan story. And I'm just so happy we've done this. And we offer your products, rather, Harriet's Botanicals. This is not the end. I like when you said, oh, there's so much to do here and I would rather do it here. So just expansion.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. I'm glad you came.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oh, so you have heard. No excuses, okay? She's shared her number. It's again on screen in case you missed it. Also, the show goes up on YouTube right after this. In case you missed the entire show, just go watch that. If you know anyone who needs any of these products, we've covered quite a bit. I can't summarize it all for you, but just find the show on YouTube and just see what it is would work for you. If there's nothing, just do what the people who you hound her on social media said, na kwani hujafanya research here, whatever it is you need her to research on, because she's committed to just building this brand here in such a humongous, magnanimous way. I'm glad you watched. The show repeats next Sunday at 2 p.m. If you have a good story, or you know someone who does a good Kenyan story, please share that with us. Our DMs are always open. And we'll see what to do. We'll just evaluate that, and who knows, you could be the next Harriet sitting over here. Until next week, stay well and God bless.
Get ready for a sizzling Sunday at Holiday Inn Nairobi 2 Rivers Mall. Join us every last Sunday of the month for a spectacular Sunday barbecue. Delight in our mouth-watering Choma brunch, accompanied by live music and exciting kids' activities, including puppet shows and bouncing castles. All this for just 4,000 Kenya shillings per person. Kids under 6 eat free, and ages 6 to 12 get 50% off. Make your reservations now. Call 0709 264 000 or email reservations@holidayinnairobi.com.